show any footage about the red carpet, which is such a big part of your brand.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for opening that can of worms. We deliberately wanted to focus on her performance, her sort of passionate comedic craft. I mean, it is a way that she played out in comedy, but it was really sort of the most sort of compartmentalized, way of thinking of Joan. It was like, oh, she's the red carpet lady for the younger generation, and we just wanted to get away from that and really spend time showing all this other wonderful work that she does.
I was also just going to say, I think one of the things that was such a joy about working on this film is that Joan has a career that's about self-reinvention, and the red carpet, in many ways, this was about living a year with Joan and what she was putting together now at this stage of her career and her life. So.
Yeah.
I never had an opportunity to thank you because in the 80s when I was coming out of Second City, I weaseled my way backstage with David Brenner and you. And you were so kind to me. And you wrote me this little note that I still have framed and has always been an inspiration for me in reinvention. And I've never had a chance to thank you for that. And I've had a fabulous career and I thank you for everything that you've done, even though you don't like us to say it. I don't care.
Breeding ground. Could I ask your name? Because I can't see.
Claire Berger.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, there's a woman or a man in the back, red sweater on the edge. Sorry, I can't see you with the lights. Well, there. Yes.
Joan, what do you think of the Jay Leno-Cameron situation?
I'm delighted. I'm blackballed from NBC. They should all go fuck themselves. They're all miserable. They had used me, their numbers would have been higher. Look at every show I go on, I get great numbers. They never use me, too fucking bad. That's what I'm not bitter.
Right in the center, and then we'll move over to you guys. So, come on.
You spoke at sort of a eulogy for Brian Linehan, who was sort of a Johnny Carson in Canada, and he talked about how generous you were during the years that during this period that he was dying. But you said something on stage that night that made the audience gasp, and they didn't know whether you were serious or not. You said you keep a collection of the ashes of dead people or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a little bit of all the people I really love up in the back of my closet because I love them, and I still have a little bit of each. I have a hairdresser that I love. I have Brian. I have obviously Edgar. I have all my dogs. I have a little bit of my mother. I have Vincent Price and his wife. All the people that meant a lot to me. I asked for a little bit of ashes. 6. And when I'm cremated, and I hope I'm dead, I would like them sprinkled in with me. Absolutely, people I love. Absolutely. And Brian is right up there. I adore Brian.
They're not all together now, are they, Joan?
No, I haven't mixed them yet. And they're all in little Louis Vuitton cases. Nobody's unhappy.
This is such a beautiful movie. I'm so impressed and I'm in awe of you. Joan, I was on the very first season of The Apprentice. And I have a question for you. Who do you think is worse, Annie Duke or Omarosa?
Oh, no question about it. Annie Duke. I think Omarosa was trying. Do you know what I'm saying? I think she was fed things, perhaps, to be bad. Annie, she was lucky. Just came naturally. No, Annie Duke was, and I don't like to knock people in, but she played people like she plays poker. She lies, she cheats, she lies to your face, she smiles, and she plays poker with people. And I don't like that. Tell me you don't like me, tell me to my face, and we'll deal from there. So, did you enjoy it?
I had the best time. It was a life-changing experience, and I'm so honored to meet you.
How long did you stay on?
I was the first woman fired on the and I got to be on Oprah. I was the one that got the most accolades. Barbara Walters said, "I cannot believe, Christy, you were my favorite," and I'm still hanging on to that. So thank you so much.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
The gentleman on the end.
Wanted to ask a little bit about the Tonight
sideshow thing, the fact that Leno never puts comics on, and the fact that there seem to be less venues for new comics, where do new comics go these days? And the second thing is, I'm from Salt Lake City, and I say this with love, fuck you.
I should have picked Sioux Falls, Iowa. We come here to ski all the time, so I think we have to change our venue now. But, where do new comics go? I don't know where new comics go. You go any place you can get on stage. You don't worry. You go and you sit with a number and you get on stage and you tape it and you keep going. If you're good, you're going to break through. Sooner or later, it's going to happen.
We have time for 2 more questions. Okay, I'll just do a quick one because I know people. The gentleman in the center.
I just want to know what your next big project is. What's the next big thing?
Melissa and I are doing a reality show called Mother Knows Best. And I'm moving into her house while I look for an apartment in LA, and she's already hysterical. And, so it's going to be, that's our big thing coming up. And then we're back doing the red carpet, and then I have another book coming out. Just 1,000,000 balloons, and let one stay up.
Oh, I just was wondering, with the relationship that you had or thought you had with Johnny Carson when you were doing the permanent guest appearance, were you surprised the fact that he never spoke to you again?
I was so hurt because truly, like me or don't like me, you know where we stand. He was the first one I called. I wanted him to hear it before the press got it. I didn't want him to have to get a call telling him. I called him and I told him and he hung up on me. I called him back and he hung up on me, and then he said she never called. And he never spoke to me again. 20 years. And you know why I left the Tonight Show? Because they weren't renewing my contract. They were taking their time. You know, and when we left and went to Fox for 15 times the salary, they said, well, why don't you leave? NBC called and said, for a year we've been saying the contract's up. But at one point you gotta say, I gotta move on. And he never, ever spoke to me again. Killed me. When his son, it upsets me so much, his son Ricky, and I knew him for 20 years, he gave me my start. He said on camera, 7 years working in shit joints. And a man on camera says, you're going to be a star and your life changed. Do you know the loyalty I had to that man? And when it was over, and Edgar killed himself, the whole thing, never heard from him, I met Edgar through him. Edgar killed himself, never wrote me a note, nothing, okay. His son Ricky, that I knew, was killed in an automobile crash. And I wrote him a letter. And I said, I don't care what's gone down, or you think's gone down between us, it shouldn't happen to anybody. Never answered. Kills me, this thing. Look at this, I start to cry. Kills me. But he must have been, then you say, well, it's his problem, and he couldn't reach out. But it was horrible. Sad. And who's happy now? The young wife. $60 million in a bikini. Hello.